Raider Nation, what's going on? This is the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. I got some Raiders news for you that we're going to hop into right now. Bruce Irvin and Derek Carr, they ain't snitching. That's for sure. You know the old saying, snitches get stitches? Well, these two guys, they're not getting any stitches. Raiders defensive end Bruce Irvin and quarterback Derek Carr had a laugh at the new NFL PED policy. The policy says that the league may reduce a player's punishment by as much as half if the NFL receives full and complete assistance in identifying other violators of the policy, including coaches and trainers. Irvin tweeted, "That's hilarious," with 4 crying face emojis, and Carr quote tweeted Irvin saying, "Bro," with 2 crying, laughing faces and a face palm. Raider Nation, my name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. And you guys see that little subscribe button down there? Subscribe to the Raiders Report on YouTube. We're the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube. But hey, that's just a humble brag from me. Next bit of news I got for you guys coming in. Nicholas Morrow giveaway. I love recognizing players when they do good things. So Nicholas, my hat's off to you, my man. So Monday morning, Morrow returned to his old high school in Huntsville High in Huntsville, Alabama to host a backpack giveaway for kids in the community, as well as provide some games for the kids to have some fun. With school about a month away for many kids, Morrow included school supplies with each a backpack and took a moment to share what it means to give back. Again, much respect to Nicholas. Much respect, my man. Next news I got for you guys coming up on the board, Tim Brown and Cliff Branch are going to the Hall of Fame. Well, the California Hall of Fame, which I think definitely deserves some recognition. The founder of the California Sports Hall of Fame said, "We are proud to continue our tradition of recognizing incredible Californians who have made an outstanding contribution at the highest level in sports. The class of 2018 was selected by a special committee comprised of past California Sports Hall of Fame inductees and celebrities, athletes, and for all their outstanding contributions for the world of sports in California and for their ties to the state. Congrats again to Tim Brown and Cliff Branch, Raider Nation for life." Raider Nation, my name is Mitchell Renz. Follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. Those are my news. Now I'm going to get into some rumors, and you guys need to understand my Raiders rumor scale. 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. This rumor's not going to happen. 1 Chucky head, small shred of truth. 2 Chucky heads, people are talking. I like to think of 50-50. 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely, 75% chance. 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby, 100% gonna happen. First rumor I got for you guys coming up on the board is Maurice Hurst better than Vita Vea? I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. Now, I will say, personally, I had Vita Vea ranked higher than Maurice Hurst, but according to 24/7 Sports Michigan insider Steve Lorenz, he gave his opinion on Hurst, and, well, I think he believes that Hurst is better. So Lorenz was asked, do you think Hurst has the potential to be a better pro than Vita Vea? Vea was the first defensive tackle selected in the 2018 NFL Draft by the Buccaneers. Scott answered, yes, provided he stays healthy. Not referring to the heart stuff, just in general. I believe he will be better pro than Vita Vea. Now, let's bring up Hurst versus Vea. So, Hurst in 2017, if you look at the numbers, actually much better than Vita Vea. And then from a career standpoint, numbers. But I understand this position, especially defensive tackle, numbers don't always speak volumes. But this is how dominant Hurst was at Michigan. And if Hurst can stay healthy and is as good as what he can be, he was no doubt, in my opinion, a first-round pick. So, Hurst better than Vea? Hey, I could definitely see it happen. Definitely wouldn't be upset about it, that's for sure. Next rumor I got for you guys coming up on the board, Raiders 2018 offseason, a total fail. I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. Now, before you guys jump down my throat, I'm not the one that wrote this article, so this isn't me. This is me just, I guess, saying what somebody else's opinion is on the Raiders 2018 offseason. So, this is this guy, right? This is 24/7. He sat down with Broncos expert Zach Kelberman. To me, kind of sounds like a fake name. But Kelberman was asked about Gruden's first offseason. He said, truth be told, I'm not sure what John Gruden was thinking by signing nearly every 30-year-old underneath the sun. Then he was asked what Raiders addition was the best for Oakland. He simply replied, none. To not like some of the moves is fine, but to say that you don't like any, that just sounds like a Broncos hater. Like, come on, haters gonna hate. For me, go Raiders. 2 Chucky heads, though, because this guy, well, he kind of doesn't really like it. Next rumor I got for you guys coming up on the board, Khalil Mack, is he unblockable? I know for a fact I couldn't block him. I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely. So, not anybody is unblockable, but this guy is definitely one of the hardest to do it. Bleacher Report ranked the hardest players in the NFL to block. Mack came in at 2 behind only Rams defensive end Aaron Donald. Mack recorded 78 pressures per Pro Football Focus last season, and he also led all edge defenders with 53 stops. That's an indication of how well-rounded his game is, but of course, he's best known for his ability to get to the quarterback, and there are many reasons why he perhaps is the league's most consistent, dominant edge rusher. No other outside pass rusher has Mack's combination of speed and strength, and it's why he has 36.5 sacks over the last 3 seasons. Next rumor I got for you guys coming up on the board, Bruce Irvin, double-digit sack season in 2018. Find out after a word from our sponsor, Mizzen & Main. I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. So, Bruce Irvin is going from linebacker to defensive end this season. Paul Guenther, the Raiders defensive coach, said, "I knew he was really gifted rusher. Just coming here, I thought his best asset for us was going forward rather than going backwards. He's done a good job with what we're asking him to do in the base fronts. Obviously, we know what he can do as a pass rusher. Hopefully, we can get him over a double-digit sack mark this year. That's the goal for him." That is a quote from Guenther himself. While double-digit sacks may seem like a tall task, Irvin racked up a career-best 8 last season while only rushing the passer on a part-time basis. But 10 sacks, is that possible for a guy like Irvin? I mean, his career high is 8, and he's done that twice. His rookie year in 2012 with the Seahawks, and then last year with the Raiders. But I think this year is his first full year with defensive end. And then if they get guys like Khalil Mack, which I really hope they do. And just overall, the players that they've added, like Arden Key, Maurice Hurst, like there's going to be a lot of guys. I think Bruce Irvin's going to get to 10 sacks. I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, hey, but I want to know from you guys as well. Comment in the bottom how many sacks you think Irvin's going to have. Next rumor I got for you guys coming up on the board, Marshawn Lynch. Is he a top 30 running back for fantasy football? You guys know I love fantasy football. So this one, I'm going to give 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely. So according to Fantasy Pros, Marshawn Lynch is RB30 in a standard league. Last season, 207 carries for 891 yards, which is good for a 4.3 yards per carry. The Raiders' offense will be better this year, and the defense, which should lead to more positive game scripts for Lynch, at least in my opinion. The Raiders' O-line will get back to being one of the most dominant units in the league as well. So for me, if I could bring up all of Lynch's stats from the last 5 weeks, this is why I love this guy. So Marshawn Lynch went full beast mode, and I tweeted it out on my Twitter at MitchellRens365 that this guy was absolutely dominant. 424 rushing yards to finish the final 5 weeks. That's 10 less than the guy who had the most over the 5 weeks, which is Kenyon Drake. This is a guy who, as I said before, started playing really well down the stretch of the year. I think that's going to continue, and if the Raiders' offense is better this year, look out for Marshawn Lynch. Fantasy sleeper, in my opinion. Next rumor coming up on the board, Navarro Bowman. Is he going to return to Oakland? I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. Now, this is a guy, Bleacher Report wrote an article about where the top free agents would end up, and they had Bowman re-signing with the Raiders. I want Bowman to return to the Raiders, but their main focus right now needs to be Khalil Mack. As soon as Khalil Mack comes back, I'm all about getting Bowman, all about it. So, but before that, in May, Raiders general manager Reggie McKenzie told Scott Blair of NBC Bay Area that he would love for Bowman to return. Personally, I thought this deal was going to get done way earlier, but it's now July, and Bowman is still a free agent, and the Raiders added Whitehead and Derek Johnson. My hope and guess is Bowman returns to the Raiders right before camp, but I guess I'm just going to cross my fingers on that one, guys. 2 Chucky heads for that one. Raider Nation, what's going on? This is the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. For you YouTubers out there who are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And for everybody watching on Facebook, make sure you guys like Oakland Raiders by Chat Sports. I talked about some news. I talked about some rumors. Now I'm going to get into my greatest Raiders of all time, and it's going to start with quarterback Ken Stabler. This guy, absolute monster. So Ken Stabler was one of the greatest quarterbacks of the 1970s and was an efficient passer in the days where quarterbacks barely had a positive touchdown to interception ratio. Stabler made 4 Pro Bowls, won All-Pro team, won an MVP award and a Super Bowl in his Hall of Fame career. Next guy I got coming up, Gene Upshaw, offensive guard. Upshaw won 2 Super Bowls, made 7 Pro Bowls, and 5 All-Pro teams. Upshaw, along with Art Shell and Jim Otto, made up for one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in NFL history during their time together. At 6'5", 255 pounds, you could argue that he is one of the most athletic players to ever wear a Raiders uniform. Raider Nation, today's show is brought to you by Mizzen and Main. Why don't you guys head over to www.comfortable.af so you guys can just check out how comfortable these shirts are, because they are indeed comfortable as F. Next guy I got coming up for you up on the board is a wide receiver, and is a guy who, man, I wish I could have him in fantasy. It's Tim Brown, wide receiver. So Brown spent his first 16 NFL seasons with the Raiders, making 9 Pro Bowls and recording 9 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He finished his NFL career with 1,094 receptions for 14,934 yards and 100 touchdown catches. But again, if I could bring up his stats, there they are, bingo, 255 games played. But when you look at all those numbers, and this is an era where passing really wasn't as big as it is in today's game. I mean, 100 touchdowns and 255 games plus over 14,000 yards. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. And then 16 seasons with the Raiders. There's a reason why he's top 3. And yeah, I think he's the best receiver the Raiders have ever had. All right, next guy, and this guy's a defensive guy, Howie Long, defensive end. Long came into the league in 1981 and proceeded to crush the NFL for the next 13 years. Long was an 8-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro, and a Super Bowl champion, and a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In 13 years for the Raiders, Long amassed 84 sacks in 179 career games. In my opinion, he is the greatest defender the Raiders have ever had. And now, number 1 on my list, running back, Marcus Allen. Although Allen did not spend his entire career with the Raiders, he is the best Raider of all time in my book. In his 11 seasons with the Raiders, Allen had 8,545 yards and 97 total touchdowns. Allen was the first real versatile running back in the NFL as a running and receiving threat. Allen is the Raiders' all-time leading rusher, but also comes in at number 5 on the Raiders' all-time leading receiving list. Allen was a 5-time Pro Bowl selection, a 3-time All-Pro, and also an NFL MVP in 1985. Allen was a part of the 1983 Raiders Super Bowl squad, in which he was named Super Bowl MVP and had then Super Bowl record of 191 rushing yards. Raider Nation, that was my list, but I want to know from you, who is the greatest Raider of all time? I mean, we have plenty of guys to choose from. You can choose some from my list. If you guys want to comment your own top 5, heck, go for it. I would love to see it. I would greatly appreciate it, actually. But who is the greatest Raider of all time? People on YouTube, people on Facebook, throw in your comments below. But let's loop through my top 5 again. I got Ken Stabler, number 5, Gene Upshaw, offensive guard at number 4, and then Tim Brown, number 3, Howie Long at number 2, and then number 1, Marcus Allen, my guy. Raider Nation, thank you so much for tuning in to Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. And until next time, go Raiders.